Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel again today. Thank you all for coming to visit with us today. And I've had a few people tell me on my channel that they really enjoy when I tell stories of my life, things that happened to me growing up and as a teenager and adult. So that's what I'm going to do again in this video. Now this story takes place during the time when I was going through a separation from my husband. I hadn't gotten the divorce yet, but we were separated. So during that time, I had moved in temporarily with a friend who I used to work with until they had my trailer prepared. They were putting down carpeting and doing some plumbing work on a trailer that I had rented there in the town. And I was still working at this time, and my friend got off at 5, and I generally got off around 2:30 unless I worked overtime. And during this particular time of the year, I don't think there was a lot of overtime. So I would come home and I would prepare a meal that we had talked about the night before. I might say, hey, do you want to have meatloaf with mashed potatoes and green beans tomorrow? And she'd say, yeah. So we would buy the ingredients. We would go to the store together and buy the ingredients and bring them home so I could make it the next day, or I'd fix something from whatever she had in her pantry. So I would get off at 2:30 and come home and get the meal on the table, and then she would come home around 5:30, and we would eat, and might watch TV or play a game or just talk for a while until we went to bed. And then we'd go retire around 7 or 8 o'clock and get some sleep so that we could get up the next day and go back to work again. Well, on this particular night, we had already cleaned up the kitchen, did our evening activities, and retired to bed, and had been in bed probably an hour, maybe an hour and a half, when somebody came knocking on the door. Now, I didn't know about this because her apartment that she lived in had upstairs, and there was 2 bedrooms and a bath upstairs. There might have been 3 bedrooms and a bath upstairs, and then there was a bath and a kitchen and a living room downstairs. So I didn't hear it. Maybe there was a doorbell ringing or something, but I was asleep and didn't hear it. So she went down to answer the door to see who it is, and directly after a bit of time, she come back upstairs, and she came to the room that I was sleeping in. I was actually sleeping in her daughter's room. Her daughter had already graduated high school and moved out and was out on her own, so I was staying in her daughter's room. So she comes upstairs and she knocks on my door, and I say, yeah, come on in. And she comes in and she goes, Vicki, guess who that was? I'm like, I don't know, who was it? And she goes, it was Richard. Now, Richard was my ex-husband, or soon-to-be ex-husband, the one that I was separated from. He was still wanting me to come back. He was trying to get me back. And she goes, it was Richard. He was looking for you. He wanted to talk to you. I go, Richard? Why would he come here? I mean, I guess he knew that I was living with you, but why would he come here and talk to me? She said, he's trying to get you to come back. He wants you to make up with him and go back and be his wife again. And she said, he asked if I knew where you were, so he didn't know you were here. And I go, oh, good. I don't want him to know that I'm here. But I mean, I figured that he did know because she was the friend that I hung around with the most during the time we were dating and before we got married. So I figured he did know that I was there. He assumed, since he couldn't find me anyplace else. And she goes, he asked if I had seen you. And I said, I haven't seen her since this afternoon. Well, we both got a big laugh out of that because that meant that she didn't know where I was, and I was right upstairs in her bedroom. Now, I don't condone telling lies, but it wasn't me that told the lie. It was my friend that came up with that. And her telling him, I haven't seen her since this afternoon. Honestly, it wasn't a true lie. Last time she saw me was when we had ate supper and cleaned up the kitchen and went to bed. That was during the afternoon, and I went to my room and she went to her, and she hadn't seen me since then. So technically it wasn't a lie, but it was. So that's how she got rid of him, for that time. Eventually he come back around again, brought flowers and candy and stuff trying to get me back. But that's my story for this video. Thank you guys for coming to watch this video with us today. Remember that your life is very short. Have fun. Live it to the fullest. Don't tell any lies. And y'all come back and see us now in the old time. Bye for this one.